Hi everyone, and welcome back to Litigation Corner. I'm your host, John Martino, the Director of Litigation at Community Legal Services, and I'm coming to you today to continue celebrating the 60th anniversary of Community Legal Services. Today we travel to the northern heart of our region, Seminole County. Seminole County, home to 7 cities, is celebrated for its abundant outdoor activities and stunning natural landscapes, featuring crystal clear springs such as Wekiva and Gemini Springs, along with beautiful scenic trails like Cross Seminole Trail. Seminole County is named in honor of the Seminole people, celebrating their history and lasting impact on Florida. Visitors can explore this heritage through local museums and historic sites that preserve the stories of the Seminole tribe and early settlers. The city of Sanford, located within Seminole County, earned the nickname Celery City, for once being the world's largest shipper of celery in the early 1900s. Beyond its agricultural fame, Sanford has even made a mark in Hollywood, serving as the filming location for the 1991 movie My Girl. By 2025, Seminole County is expected to have over 400,000 residents. As the county continues to expand, the demand for legal support in areas such as housing, family, and other civil matters is likely to rise. That is where the CLS Helpline comes in. The CLS Helpline is often the first stop for people who need legal help but aren't sure where to begin. With one phone call, residents across the 12-county service area can reach trained CLS attorneys who listen carefully and provide immediate assistance, whether that means brief legal advice, preparing the caller to represent themselves, or connecting them with the right resources. What sets the helpline apart is its holistic approach. Attorneys don't just tackle one isolated problem, they look at the bigger picture. Along with legal guidance, helpline attorneys can make real-time referrals to community resources such as domestic violence shelters, housing programs, and more. The helpline makes a real impact by providing callers with direction and clarity. By the end of the call, clients are equipped with information and the confidence that someone is ready to help. Monique Keels, the leader of the unit, sat down with me at Henry's Depot in Sanford to talk about her amazing team. Let's take a look. Monique, thank you for doing this with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so you're the manager of the, I'm going to try to get this right, the Brief Services and Legal Advice Helpline.
You nailed it.
Got to be the longest title in the organization. Thank you so much for doing this. The point of the interview is to get to know you a little bit better, but also share all the good work that you and your team does for Community Legal Services and for the community. So first, we do a little bit of background questions.
Okay.
All right, so Monique, where are you from?
Okay, so born in San Francisco, raised outside of Cleveland, Ohio, but with roots in Philadelphia. So all over.
Okay,
all over.
Okay. So where'd you go to school?
So Warrensville Heights was the area that I primarily went to school for elementary, middle, and most of high school.
And that's in Ohio?
That's in Ohio.
Okay.
Yes.
And so when you were growing up, what was the first job that you really wanted to do?
Oh gosh. So funny story. Originally, I wanted to be a news reporter and then an attorney. There was actually an assignment that we had 5th grade, and they said, open this book and you flip through all of these different things and you pick which one you want to be. And after reading the description, I said, I might want to do that one day.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm noting who is going to take over for me for Litigation Corner. Okay. So when you were growing up, who were your heroes?
Okay, so it might sound super cliche, but one of my heroes was definitely my mom. I saw her do some very superhero-like things, but primarily just the way that she was able to effortlessly do many things with so little time. I was raised by her primarily with my younger brother, single parent, 3 jobs, a lot of my childhood. And yeah, she was just super impressive to me. Yeah. Super impressive.
Yeah, I got a lot of my work ethic from my mother as well. So you said that you wanted to be a lawyer from pretty young, or at least that was part of the dream. So when did you actually decide, that's it, I'm going to law school?
Like when I knew?
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, like my mom experienced different civil issues. And as a kid, I didn't really know like how to internalize that. And then something clicked in me and it was like, I want to be the type of attorney that my mom didn't have with those issues. And then I think it locked in and it made it personal for me at that point to say, yeah, I'm gonna go to law school.
Yeah, and you know, I think the general public, just civil legal issues is just not what the public thinks about when they think about problems with the justice system, right? And we get to help try to fix those problems.
That's right.
All right, so you're the manager of the helpline.
Yes.
So I really like to think of CLS as being in the empowerment business, and the helpline's really at the forefront of that. So first of all, just what is the helpline? What does it do? How does it function?
Okay, so I like to give like a visualization. So the helpline is pretty much like a legal emergency room. So that's where people come and we try to patch them up with regard to whatever civil legal issue that they're having, whether it be housing or public benefits or consumer. And we try to empower them by navigating them through this, like you said, this kind of mysterious justice system and process.
Yeah. And you mentioned a couple areas of law. What are the areas that you guys get the most calls for?
Well, right now, it's normally housing, it is consumer matters, it is family matters, and public benefits. But we really handle quite an array, sometimes all at once, but normally those are the main types of areas we assist with.
And I'm assuming that sometimes you get oddball things that you guys don't expect.
The time, all the time.
Yeah. So about how many cases or calls do you handle every year?
Right now, I will say as of, I think last year, we were approaching over 12,000 calls per year that we answer.
Wow. Yes. And how has that changed over time?
Oh boy, I think and many people can kind of have the same sentiment about this. Around the pandemic, we knew that we had to figure out how to deliver services a little differently. So it forced us to like lean in further to technology. So we started to try to like push the limits a little bit. And so we started with things like legal advice via chat. At one point, we started to expand things like our online application system because we realized like the clients that we serve, they sometimes don't have our same schedules, right? And so we have to be accessible though, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And so we did things like expand that. We have done things like, even with those people that we can't touch, we allow them to still touch us by receiving like legal information through text, like within our phone system. So we just continue to utilize those different options. But in terms of like a human perspective, we started to leverage our community partnerships. We started reaching out to our law firms, our law schools, and saying, hey, we have such an overflow and a need with people that need legal help. Will you be willing to take some calls with us? And they answered that call too. So we've just tried to integrate a lot of different things. And then we've also hired on intake specialists to help streamline those calls to our attorneys to help more people.
So most of the attorneys in our law firm get to focus on a really specific area of the law, right? We have our family attorneys, we have our housing attorneys, but the helpline's a little different. How is the helpline different?
Okay, so we are different, which we're super proud of it. Like, we're different in the state of Florida and nationally because we realize when most people reach out to us, they collectively have all of these different legal issues together, and sometimes they don't even realize it. But we train our attorneys to basically hit each of those issues. So they receive training in housing and public benefits and consumer, in family law, all simultaneously to build or fortify their foundation so they can best serve the clients that we serve.
And so there's a holistic approach that we take when it comes to handling our clients.
Most definitely.
And that basically just means that we're going to ask them for whatever legal issues they have, we'll talk to them about.
The kitchen sink, yes.
Amazing. All right. So when someone calls the helpline, what is that experience when they actually get to talk to an attorney?
So once the attorney, reaches that particular client, they can, confirm eligibility and things like that. Then they get into the meat and potatoes of what's going on, because oftentimes when our clients call, it's an emotional experience. It's challenging for them, understandably so. So they're kind of weaving through, okay, what's going on emotionally with the client, and then what's going on legally, and then trying to figure out, it's almost like a coaching situation. Like, let's coach you through what may be best for you based on these facts that you're sharing with us today. And then we kind of conclude it by assuring them that they can call us back as early and as often as they need to throughout their entire process, which I think is a little different. It's not just okay, we hang up, goodbye, but it's no, continue to come back to us as much as you need to make sure that you can navigate through whatever your legal situation might be.
And I know you get those stories all the time. We talk to someone, they go to their hearing, and they get results.
Yes.
Yeah, and those are amazing stories when we get them, and I know you're so proud of your team when we're able to accomplish those goals. Sometimes you guys are able to refer people to the units in the organization.
Yes, I always like to describe it as, okay, the helpline is like it's the trunk of the tree with deep roots. And then we have wonderful, stellar units within our firm that are like the hardy branches that hold up the firm, that do the extended services, that do the representation for these clients. And so what we do is closely collaborate with each one of those different units. And we're reaching out to their managers and the different staff attorneys to see what particular path or what particular methods we can use to best serve that client.
CLS's tagline is legal access for all. How does the helpline specifically help break down those barriers that people have to the justice system?
By navigating people through and demystifying the process for people. We pride ourselves in taking a very common sense approach, a very digestible approach to each and every client and customer. So it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, once the helpline is addressing a customer or a client, no matter if we can help or not, we are navigating them towards the resource they need in the next leg of their legal journey. And so I know I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but one of those things, those barriers that we use to break down is the information, because we see that a lot of times it's the dissemination of information that's missing. A lot of times our staff attorneys are saying, we just wish you would have reached out to us before you signed that contract, before you did those things. And so that got us to thinking, well, how can we leverage technology and inform people of these different things even before they reach us? And so that's why we kind of focus on that legal innovation part. And yeah, I won't go into too much detail because, in a perfect world, I would love to have like 10,000 Helpline attorneys. I was looking at something this morning, and it said the largest call center in Florida is like 10,000 people. And I said, well, we don't have 10,000 people, but we have like techniques and strategies that we continue to use, whether that's through our community partners, whether that is, through our staff attorneys directly, where we are going to leverage as much as we can so we can serve as many people as we can.
What I imagine one of the hardest things with being a helpline attorney is having all that information and all the different legal areas that they're going to get calls about. What do you guys do to make sure that they are trained and ready to deal with any kind of emerging legal issues?
So we have sort of like a step-by-step process, starting with their onboarding. So we pair them all the way at the beginning with seasoned attorneys so that they can hear the level of advice that we provide in the different areas. But then we also reverse shadow with them to make sure they're comfortable in executing and providing that advice. But even after that, we realize it's a lot of information because the law is consistently changing, and thank you, John, for always providing those consistent updates. And so what we do is we try to create a space for that year-round, where we are meeting with each of the attorneys on a monthly basis, and that's what we're literally doing. We're going through all of those substantive legal areas and designing trainings that hit on those things. But then we also have portions of the training where we try to do case studies and fireside chats, and we try to evaluate different sorts of scenarios as a group so that it's in everyone's hearing and that people feel more comfortable going forward and approaching sometimes these really, really nuanced and unique issues. So we do a lot of reinforcement, and then we do a lot of what we call live reviews on our helpline. So if there is a staff attorney who might be struggling in a particular area, then that's where our team leads or myself or even other helpline attorneys kind of step in and say, hey, well, you have this wonderful, but over here in this area, you might want to do this a bit different. And so it's worked. Not a perfect system, by any means, but so far it's worked.
So one of the challenges for you personally is you manage a huge team. I'm not sure if it's the biggest one right now. I know you and family sometimes are back and forth, but you manage definitely one of the biggest team of attorneys in the whole organization. So how do you continue to motivate and keep them going and doing the good work that they're doing?
So one thing I try to do is I try to encourage them. We have like a software where people can leave the feedback about their experiences, and I tell them to don't miss out on opportunities to review what people are actually saying about you after their calls, because I think that's powerful sometimes to hear that person's voice where they're tremoring and they're shaking. They're like, did I give the advice or did they understand me? But to hear them say, no, I understood, I felt respected, I felt heard, and you gave me some really, really great advice and information. But to keep them going, we try to do a couple of things. I think emotional well-being, mental health is very important. And so we try to integrate what we call active rest into longer shifts or longer days where we say, step aside, go pour back into yourself, because that's really important, because you can't pour from an empty cup. So we try to integrate those things. And then I always tell every staff attorney, I always say, I'm here to partner with you. And so you're giving us a benefit because you're pouring out of yourself and giving our clients legal advice. But I'm here to listen to, well, how do we need to pour back into you? Like, what trainings do you need? What professional development? Things like that. And I think that it kind of, how can I say it? It shows them that we care. We know that attorneys, like, none of us are robots. And so we have to like walk in sync and in partnership. And so I think that's like one of the biggest ways that I try to keep everybody going.
And generally, big question, I know, what is your philosophy towards leadership, or what is your management style?
Oh gosh, so I guess you would classify me as a servant leader. I say I walk with my team. They're not under me, they walk with me. I'm that type of manager where I love ideas, I love innovation. So I love when my team comes to me and says, hey, that's not working. And I'm like, what will work? Would you like to implement that? Let's see how that could work. And so I think that because of that, like the culture, it kind of helps to continue to breed innovation, because people they're not nervous. to come when there are different ways and even better ways to operate the unit.
Thank you, Monique, for agreeing to be interviewed and for the amazing work you do for our clients. Thank you for watching.